All right, so on the H3 podcast the other day, Ethan Klein somehow managed to sound more out of touch than ever. This man has absolutely no self-awareness, and I think somebody needs to point this out, and somebody needs to tell him, like, dude, at least try to be a little consistent. That's all I'm asking for. So on Ethan's podcast the other day, he was talking about Andrew Tate, who's that alpha male guy who's gone extremely viral recently on every platform. You can't get away from the guy at this point. He's that bald dude with the glasses who's always yelling about something stupid. I'm sure you've seen him. And if you haven't seen him, I'm sorry, because after watching this video, you're probably going to be getting some of his videos recommended to you, and then it's just all downhill from there. So Ethan was talking about this guy because he went on some popular podcasts and live streams recently, and one of those Ethan's talking about is a live stream with Aiden Ross, Andrew Tate, and XQC, and some other people, but it was mostly XQC arguing with Andrew Tate and trying to challenge some of the things he says, and it was just a mess. Like, it did not go well for either person. But Ethan Klein was criticizing XQC for even talking to this guy, even though XQC clearly did not like this guy. He was not a fan. He was just there to debate him pretty much. But in Ethan's book, even that is too far, and you shouldn't even be talking to a person like this on your platform.
That's how it is.
He's right.
You are literally
he hit it on the
empowering
head, but he's still hosting him. So I think he's still putting entertaining people, trying to do a good show and pull numbers over. Because he just acknowledged there's going to be a certain amount of people that it resonates with.
This is one of the more cringy and embarrassing things I've ever heard Ethan say, because this shows he has no self-awareness. This is a person who started a podcast with Trisha Paytas. Ethan puts views and numbers over everything, basically, and he's criticizing XQC because he's debating some guy that he disagrees with, and he's making it very clear he does not like him, he's not a fan of his, he disagrees with everything he says. Apparently that's wrong, but having on Trisha Paytas and letting her say whatever the hell she wants, and now Ethan and his fans will basically admit that she's transphobic, racist, anti-Semitic, all of it. And she's all this while she's on the podcast. Ethan will support that, he'll platform that. The podcasts are still up, and also him starting that podcast, he knew it wasn't going to be good for his family. He knew it'd probably rip him apart, but he didn't care. The views and the entertainment and the money he could make from it was worth it. And even right now, Ethan platforms and promotes this guy Jimmy Lee, who just does these pranks in public where he goes up to people and he'll say like racist and kind of sexist jokes, and Ethan and his fans think he's hilarious. So they'll entertain that guy, but apparently XQC can't even debate or challenge some guy like that. And Ethan has been talking about Andrew Tate for months now, and he's been reacting to his content a lot. So he's probably only helped his popularity, honestly. And in my opinion, it's probably better to debate the guy rather than just sitting there reacting to his content and being like, oh, look at this guy, he's sexist, he's misogynist. Like, what are you doing? You're just preaching to the choir. Everyone agrees with what you're saying. You're not changing anyone's opinion. Nobody who is a fan of Andrew Tate is going to watch H3 and be like, oh, yeah, he has some good points. I'm not going to listen to him anymore. And even though XQC isn't the best person to argue with this guy and debate him, at least he did it. At least he went out there and questioned what this guy was saying, and he didn't just sit there kissing his ass the whole time like Aiden Ross was doing. That was really embarrassing. I was thinking about making a video on that, but then of course Ethan had to say some stupid shit. So even though that debate was a shit show and it was just hard to listen to, at least XQC did it. I gotta give him credit. I don't think Ethan would actually debate any of these people. It seems like he's scared. Like, he's about to debate Steven Crowder, and then he backed out. And then also Fresh and Fit, that never happened. And Jordan Peterson too, they were talking about it. And also I think Ethan is criticizing XQC here because he's kind of jealous. He was talking about how many views this stream got. Well, I think it's Aiden's stream, but I think he wishes he was getting these kind of views, and he feels like if he can't capitalize off of interviewing Andrew Tate or having a debate with him, then he doesn't want anybody to.
It's like challenging. It's like having an argument with a Nazi about why they shouldn't exterminate all Jews.
Right.
Engaging in the conversation is valid. It's giving validity to it, even if you're disagreeing, because it's so insane that it shouldn't be even engaged with seriously. Because the net positive for all this for Cobra Tate is just going to be that he gets more fans, even if 90% of the people thinks he's crazy.
Yeah.
I would say XQC was pushing back more than the others. I mean, I agree with you that they shouldn't platform at all, but
XQC, he has like literally young men. This is his target demo. If 10% of his audience were like, this guy's dope, that's a net loss for humanity. Some people just are not fucking...
I guarantee some people from H3's audience watched Andrew Tate videos after Ethan started talking about him. Maybe they didn't take him seriously, but they're helping like boost the algorithm for his videos. They're going out of their way to search him. I saw him sharing a lot on the subreddit. A lot of people are posting his videos on the H3 subreddit. So they're helping promote this guy. And it's also funny that he's comparing this guy to a Nazi, and it's like talking to one of them, when a lot of people actually compared Trisha Paytas to one. This guy, Mr. Beard, made a video titled Trisha Paytas is an actual Nazi or something like that. And then Ethan, he said this video is interesting on Twitter, and a lot of his fans said this video is very accurate and they agree with him, and I'm sure Ethan agrees with him. He also like nominated this guy for some award for his channel or some shit, but he liked this video and he probably agreed with it. When Trisha Paytas, all the examples this guy used of her being a Nazi, well, like 90% of them are from H3's podcast.
Shalom, everybody. Shalom, shalom. Welcome to Frenemies. Today we are doing Jewish trivia because Trisha, stepping to me, of all people, the king of the Jews, a.k.a., and you really think you can beat me at Jewish trivia?
Yes. Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch.
Baruch atah Adonai.
You got to hit that.
And Ethan and the crew and everyone already knew how anti-Semitic she was, and there are multiple posts on the subreddit about it, and people said they stopped watching, especially after this episode, and nobody really cared. Once in a while they'd call her out, but they're always laughing. They're like, oh, you just shouldn't say that, but it's not that big of a deal. Like Ethan said, he didn't care really. And then just dressing up and doing stuff like this is obviously enabling her and only going to make her want to do it more.
But they're making, it's like when you make like a Nazi palatable. It's really fucked up, and I really mean that.
You did that. Like, this guy is so stupid. It's just sad at this point, honestly. He's such a joke. He has no credibility. And that's why I'm making this video. You know, I don't like Andrew Tate. I'm not defending anything he does. He's a terrible person. But if Ethan's going after these people, he can't be this stupid doing it. He has no right telling people that they can't interview or talk to somebody or debate somebody when he had Trisha Paytas on his podcast and did like a whole show with her and promoted her to his audience and gave her a redemption arc. It's not like he had her on there to be like, oh, you're a terrible person. Why'd you do this? How could you say that? He had her on there to make a great show, to make entertainment, give views, and make money. And I actually remember last year, he was about to have the Island Boys on when they were really popular, and Ethan was looking forward to it. He was really excited. But then right before they came on, his fans canceled them, and they posted in the subreddit about how the Island Boys, I think, like hit their girlfriend or like did something like that. Obviously. And then Ethan went on his podcast and said that. He's like, obviously these guys aren't good guys, but I just wanted to have him on. Like, why'd you guys have to do that? He was like disappointed that his fans called them out and ruined it so he couldn't have him on the podcast anymore. He was not like, oh, thank God, I was about to have these terrible people on my platform and promote them to my audience. He was like, oh, why'd you guys have to do that? You couldn't have waited a little bit longer. So I think Ethan has to be more consistent with this stuff because it's just way too obvious what he's doing, and more of his employees need to start calling him out. Thankfully, one of them actually did with this XQC stuff, and he made a good point. But also, I wish he just brought up Trisha Paytas because that's the elephant in the room here. Like, you bring that up, what the hell is he gonna say? There's no defense for that.
Like very, very young fan bases, and them coming out and really arguing and going against this, I think has, in my opinion, a net positive. Because I think Andrew Tate is so big already. If you just look at TikTok, his TikTok's blowing up all the time. Like, has multiple millions of views. I think it's good to have voices talking against him in any context.
I see what you're saying. I'm kind of torn because I've seen an XQC have really good takes about sexism and stuff like that. But you can talk about him without having him on the show. So sure. I don't know.
But I think we're just too far gone, and Tate is here, and he's like massive. And at this point, anyone who goes against him that has young fan bases is positive. But I also understand your.
I mean, it's better. It's much better for XQC the way he's talking to him than like Adam Ross, who's just like,
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Platform, just being like, yeah, go ahead, do your thing, buddy.
On, but challenging him.
Oh, it is possible that this employee didn't bring up Trisha because Hila's there, and he probably know that Hila would get really pissed if he brought her up. So I guess that's possible. But I also agree with him. I think this guy Andrew Tate, he's already here. He's all over the place. I think the best thing to do is probably argue with him. Like Dave Portnoy, he didn't really hold back. Like he let this guy know that he sounds stupid. which I think is a good thing. Like trying to talk to this guy and embarrass him that way, not just sitting there reacting to a video and be like, look at how stupid this guy is, which you can do. I have no problem with that. Like I did it. I might do it again, but I'm not going to act like I'm doing anything to help stop this guy. And I'm not going to criticize people that interview him and actually challenge him. Like Aiden Ross, I agree. That was stupid. He's like sitting there like drooling over this guy. It was so embarrassing. But XQC and Dave Portnoy didn't do anything wrong, and they probably did more to fight against this guy than Ethan's done, I'd say. And again, Andrew Tate is already here. Everyone knows of him. It's not like XQC is exposing him to a bunch of people that have never heard of him. I'm sure most of his audience probably already know of him. And also, the way this guy is doing his marketing, I heard this in a video. I don't know if this is true, but apparently he has like an affiliate program where he has people make videos and TikTok accounts for him, like promoting him and putting his videos out there with music and shit, and then they get commission if they do well. So he has like a whole army just shoving his content in people's faces, and I don't know where it's going to go from here. The fact that he was on Twitch is pretty insane, because Twitch bans people left and right. They're not afraid of banning people. But the fact he can go on there and say some crazy shit that people would get canceled for, I'm surprised they allowed that. But I'm sure if he started an account, they'd probably ban him. And I think eventually maybe they'll just have to ban him from the platform at all. Like he can't even be on there. And also maybe his videos might start getting banned because there's just so much of it. And he's a pretty controversial guy. They might try to give him the Alex Jones treatment. We'll just have to wait and see. I'll keep you updated. So that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, leave me a comment, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you at the next video.